watching TikTok videos, playing some Fortnite, when Miss Hushbeck called and said, "Hey, could you maybe do the announcements?" And I said, "Well, who's going to do them if I don't?" She said, "Well, Mr. Hushbeck." And I said, "I'll do them. I've seen Mr. Hushbeck's announcements." I don't know if you guys aren't. One time he told the staff a chemistry joke. It got no reaction. I hope you get that one, okay? So today I'd like to start with sort of a premise. I want you to understand that during this COVID crisis, we get that not every day is a good day. But what I really want you to understand is every day good things happen. I really want us to focus on the positives. So with that, I'm going to start talking about our senior checkout. Seniors, your last day was the 22nd. If you're passing all of your classes, you're done at South. That's a little sad, but at the same time, it's really something that starts the rest of your life. So I want to tell you on Wednesday, from 8 to 10, seniors with the letters, last name starting with A through F, you come in from 8 to 10, you pay fines, you talk to Miss Regal about your grad plans, you can pick up your yearbook that Mr. Hume and Miss Payton have already finished and gotten out and ready to go. And you can ask some questions if you have anything, because we'll be talking a little bit about graduation later. If your name starts G through L, you'll come in from 10 to 12. We have to do this so we space kids out so that there won't be any danger to you. And with this COVID crisis, we're doing everything we can to keep you safe. On Thursday, seniors with the last name M through Q will come in from 8 to 10. And R through Z will come in from 10 to 12. Now, I repeat that, but this is on YouTube, so you can just rewind, okay? So with that in mind, I know there's been a lot of questions out there about ELO.
Hey, Phil. Phil, it's time to take out the trash.
Shh. I'll get right back to you. Sorry, had to take out the trash. It's just one of those things we have to do sometimes. Today, I'd like to introduce Mr. Puev. Mr. Puev is going to talk to us about what goes on Friday nights from 8:20 to 8:40, and how this Friday is going to be real special, and we'd really like all you guys to come.
Hi folks. On Friday the 22nd, we're hosting our last part of the Be the Light campaign, supporting all of our seniors and the community members fighting COVID-19, as well as all other high school kids that have lost something of their high school experience. Please come on out to the stadium from 8:20 to 8:40. Stay in your cars and circle the stadium honking your horns in a tribute to all these people. It's our last chance to kind of say goodbye and say we miss you to everybody. So I'm looking forward to seeing how many people we can get to surround the stadium. Thanks again for all your support throughout the year, and good luck going forward here.
So, I don't know if you understand about Mr. Sizemore and how he is like an atom, but they make up everything. That's another joke. So right now I'd like to talk to you about another quote, and I'd like to talk about how COVID is making us stronger. I think the struggle we're in today is developing the strength you need for tomorrow. We don't always understand that, but I'm going to give you the best example. This is a graduation update. I don't know. Graduation keeps changing. A couple weeks ago, I know that Mr. Bartlett and Dr. Brown had worked extremely hard with Cheyenne Frontier Days, and we thought we had a good plan. But because of the COVID crisis, because of more cases of the coronavirus, we are looking at possibly having to change that. So right now, graduation is sort of up in the air. The only thing we're almost sure about is that it will be on June 13th. What it will look like, the state health department continues to change and tell us what we need to do. The whole idea behind this is we want to make it safe. We want to make sure that we don't continue the spread of this virus, and that we keep our students that are very valuable to us safe. I do want to thank the district because they have worked hard to try to help us make good decisions to get you graduated, but at the same time keep you safe. I will tell you next week, the district has purchased signs for all graduating seniors, and the principals, the staff, a lot of people will be coming to your house to give you a sign that says, "Congratulations, you've graduated." When the ceremony takes place, I will keep you informed as we move on. With that in mind, whenever we have a graduation, we're always worried about the weather. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Officer Fardella to talk to us about the weather the next couple days. I think it might be windy and sunny, but I'm not sure.
Hello, Bison. This is Officer Fardella, your school resource officer, and I'm here with your Bison weather report along the trail to Hidden Falls at Kurt Dowdy State Park. We're looking for Friday, a high of 73 degrees and sunny skies. This weekend, we will be looking at some cloudy skies. Saturday will be cloudy with a high of 71. Now Sunday, we're going to have cloudy skies. Some thunderstorms and rain are going to move in Sunday afternoon, and we're only looking at a high of 64 degrees on Sunday. Monday, that storm system moves out. We're looking at a high of 74 degrees and sunny skies. Have a great weekend. Take care, Bison.
So, with that in mind, I want to go back to ELO and tell you that...
Hey, have you taken out the trash yet?
Okay, I'm back. We have to talk quietly. I've taken out the trash. I'm hiding in the basement so my wife can't find me. And I'd like now to talk about grades. By the way, do you know why math books are always depressed? And no, it's not because they have Mr. Chacon or Miss Alonzo or Mr. Markham. It's because they're always trying to solve problems. It's a lot like us in today's COVID world. With your grades, I want to be clear to you so you understand that right now, if you are passing classes, you get a choice. You can either decide to take the letter grade, just like you always do, and add that to your GPA. Or you can just take an S. The S doesn't impact your GPA or Hathaway. So if you have a 2.5 and you get an A or a B, you should take the letter grade. But if you get a D, you should just take a satisfactory. Really talk to your teachers, have conversations with your parents, and try to make decisions, because the one thing we don't want to do at South is let this crisis affect you negatively. So be talking to your parents, be talking to your teachers, okay, and let them know. The one other choice you have that you'll need to talk to teachers about is possibly if you're not doing well in a class, you can withdraw from it. And what that means is you can take that class off, but understand that's going to impact your total amount of credits. So those are three choices that over the next couple of weeks you're going to have. You really need to think about that. You really need to take your time and have conversations with your teacher and your parent and say, what's the best decision for me? With that in mind, if you fail the class, you don't have those choices. And right now we have 2 weeks left. 2 weeks to get your butt in gear and to really, really get the work done. Whether you're online or whether it's packets, your teachers will provide you extra work so that you can get across the finish line and make the best of this situation. Okay? See, I want you to understand, a year from now, you might wish you started today. And I don't want you to look back next year and say, wow, I wish I would have passed that class. We have 2 more weeks till June 2nd to turn in the last makeup packets to try to make the best of our situation. With that in mind, I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask Miss Scar to share a little bit about some books she's been reading. Thank you.
Hey South, Mrs. Scar here. Hey, I'm recording this book talk from Englewood, Colorado, where my daughter and her husband recently gave birth to my first grandbaby. His name is Theo Jen Miguel Park. So if you hear any background noises, it could have something to do with that. The book I'm going to talk about today is The Downstairs Girl by Stacey Lee. Historical fiction lovers out there. Joe, the main character, is Chinese American and living in Atlanta, Georgia in the Reconstruction period, right after the Civil War. After losing her job in a hat shop because one of the customers felt uncomfortable because someone Asian was working in the shop, Joe goes to work as a lady's maid for the daughter of the richest man in Atlanta. And although the young woman Joe works for is a spoiled, rotten brat and keeps sneaking off to see her secret boyfriend against her mother's wishes, Joe has some of her own secrets, like that she and her grandfather have been living in the cellar of a local newspaper publisher for about 5 years, and that Joe has started sending anonymous advice columns to that same newspaper under the pen name of Miss Sweetie. Miss Sweetie advises her readers' advice column to fight back against racism and sexism that's prevalent in the city at that time. She tells her readers that women should ride bicycles that were a new invention at that time, and they should speak out about the segregation ship being established in Atlanta's trolley system. Many people want to read the column, but some of the wealthy don't want others to read it, including the super rich father of her employer, and want the anonymous Miss Sweetie stopped at all costs. And Joe has recently started to uncover the identity of her own parents, who she has never met or known anything about, and about whom her grandfather is very reluctant to say anything about. The Downstairs Girl is funny and heartbreaking and about a period in history that I didn't know much about, and maybe you don't know much about either. I would give this book a 10 out of 10. If you like horses, a good mystery, or learning more about this time period, you might really like The Downstairs Girl by Stacey Lee. And it's available on Destiny Discover, our ebook platform. Thank you, and see you again soon.
So I'm going to end with a couple things. The first one, I don't know if you know what Mr. Pillivant calls his dog. Data. Get it? He's the AP teacher. He likes data. Okay, I know my jokes aren't that great. So right now I want to review. We talked about senior checkout. We talked about graduation. We talked about, finishing strong and getting the grades that we want. So I told you earlier, I taught you about ELO. So now...
Thanks for taking out the trash, but remember, it's your turn to do dishes tonight.
Thank you. We've got to be quiet. I'm in my man cave. Well, really, it's the attic. But I've got my basketball pictures of when I coached. I've got my economics books. This is where I come just to relax. Guys, I want you to understand something. It's not the load that breaks us down. It's how we carry it. And I know at South High School, the students carry that load. And they're honorable, enthusiastic, responsible, and determined. Let's finish strong. Let's pass our classes. Let's come back in the fall for the year 2021. And let's not miss a beat, because right now, we miss you. And we hope you're all doing well. And we hope to see you next year ready to go. Thanks, and have a great weekend.